Hello, George.
Hi, George.
Welcome. All right, I'm going to call us to order 5:35, September 5th, Economic Development Commission meeting to order. Robert Boris, Commissioner.
Joe Delacruz, Commissioner.
Jake Dunnigan, Commissioner.
George Buffalo, Commissioner.
You look lovely in pink.
Thank you. Hope everyone had a wonderful summer and looking
We
forward.
still got a few days,
George.
Chair.
And we just acknowledge, Paige has left us. He took another position and we wish him well. And apparently we'll be seeing him. The company that he's working for is located in the area, so he'll be doing work here, but we're in very capable hands. I'm very, very grateful to have you. I was assured by John Reiner and everyone, and I, working with you for the few months since you've been here, very, very pleased and happy and grateful, and we'll make you proud with our hard work as a commission. So.
Thank you.
Lies.
There's your first swear.
You're not supposed to say all that.
Okay. Public communications, anybody have anything to share?
I do actually, yeah, and it was just yesterday, but it's funny because I found a newspaper from 1974 in a house that we're renovating. And you could literally open it up and in the stories change the people's names and it would still be the same conversation. It had to do with mobile home parks in Groton,
Oh, wow.
1974, but it was also, Vietnam War was ended. They were bringing back 547 POWs. So I think just to put it in perspective, when we think about how these times are so crazy, it's literally the same thing. It's just different people and different names. So, but the whole mobile home park was interesting because Mayor Franco had set up a meeting. There's a park, 301 Buddington Road, and it's available if anyone's listening out there. $125,000, 2-bedroom mobile home. I think it's 60 by 14. We toured it with I think there were members of the Planning and Zoning Commission there, about 13 people that showed up, a few counselors, and it was really neat to see because I think they're trying to change the people's perspective on what mobile home living is. And if you read the article from 1974, they were concerned that it was going to be full of kids and that there was going to be problems and crime. And it really never came out that way because come to find out, it's very young people that get into these things that can't afford first-time homes or very old folks that are downsizing. So it's really, there were probably, I think they said a total of 5 kids. We learned a lot about it. I was glad that the mayor actually set up the meeting. And I think with some of the rhetoric that you're hearing, not just on the council, but even in town about, not wanting to have a mobile home park to be expandable. I think people should go to the very meeting I went to yesterday.
Yeah.
Got to the mayor knocked on the door of the neighbor next door and talked to the person. They just absolutely love it. It's affordable. They feel safe where they're at. So that was something I thought was really cool. Update on the Groton sub sale. We'll hope and have maybe a shovel in the ground this November. It looks like it's going to be. We're starting to do the remediation. Hopefully, they're looking hopefully in November start remediation of the sale on the property. It's on the sublease right now, and hopefully on the shovel in the ground right in the spring this year. So those are the 2 updates that I have. The mobile home thing is something that's really cool and
I think it'd be wonderful to have it.
Isn't-
yeah.
They're gonna take down. It's a whole little conclave in there. Be wonderful. Mystic, what's the one that's, yeah. You have your own entrance in.
Yeah.
Because that's what the school had. And you're surrounded by trees, bushes and everything else. It'd be a wonderful place to have a small one. And then you put affordable housing in Mystic.
Yeah, I wasn't able to go, but I'm glad the Mayor Franco set that up because I think people have a conception of mobile homes. That these manufactured homes today are just a world apart from what you imagine. And it fits a need for workforce housing and things that, we got to do everything we can. So I agree.
On 2 weeks ago, I think, and we did an open house on Saturday and it was sold on Sunday. Beautiful unit, 100,000, where can you get something nice for 100,000?
Well,
Yeah.
but no, it's okay. My major concern has never been with the sort of class issue that people often associate with mobile homes. It's that the practice itself is so predatory with land lease. I just think that, it's sold as ownership. But in the end, it's, you're always renting. And I think that, there's needs to be a better conversation, especially people who may not be financially savvy, understanding the long-term costs of being in a mobile home. That's my,
I'm sorry, I
that's
didn't
my,
catch
that's my piece, and I'll leave it there.
at the beginning, I didn't catch what you said at the beginning.
So you buy the unit,
Yeah,
but you never own the land
no, you rent the land, you have a
Yeah.
lot fee.
forever, right?
Yeah.
And so, you get, much like condos, you get these cycles. And then near the end of the life of a mobile home, which they are very nice, but they don't last as long, right? They're harder to do maintenance on. You get people who get evicted from the thing that they own that they can't get back. And then they owe this land lease, and fees to get the home off of there. And it just, the long-term investment has to be discussed with somebody who understands that the true cost is much higher than an equivalent home of the same price.
But you don't have another home of the same price.
No, but after the tour yesterday, I think that actual very same point was brought up. And they've shown that they've actually appreciated and value a lot of these are made with 2x6 construction. They're coming with the top of the line insulate. Everything was top of the line that was in this unit anyway. But if just simply by looking at the mobile homes that were there from 1970 and 80, they were still selling for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in this park. And as far as never owning your property, I still feel that I own my house and I have no mortgage, but I pay $7,500 a year to live in it. There's always that. I mean, again, it's different. It's taxes. But they were paying $425 a month for their rental of their land in this particular park that I was in yesterday. So in the end, with taxes, it is an affordable way to live. But I think that those are things that HUD actually changed. It was a big conversation yesterday.
Yeah.
Long, but
Okay.
you used to have to register your mobile home through DMV. HUD changed that now, so they actually are getting real conventional mortgages on it. You can't get a 30-year loan on a manufacturer, but they're up to 25 years. So, we did all the monthly pay, everything. Dan Gajewski's a young counselor that can't afford a house, and did the numbers, and it was
Yeah.
right around $1,500 or $1,600 to own a $125,000 brand new,
Right.
which means that your bills were lower, electricity, everything else is much lower. These are really well-made houses. They're made in a factory. And they're very similar to the manufactured ones that they drop on the foundation. It just comes with I think, again, the stigma of there were wheels on it at one point. And,
A $250,000 a month mortgage is at 3.5%.
You're gonna have to talk a little louder, I'm sorry.
So, if it's $1,600 to own a mobile home, right, and $425 of that is going to somebody who's taking a level of profit off of that, but it's definitely an option that's filling a gap. But I'm wary that purchasers aren't fully aware of where some of their money is going. Because my $255,000 house, my mortgage payment is $1,650.
that's what your taxes and everything.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, so you got a really low interest rate.
Yeah.
Exceptional. That's
So,
exceptional.
yeah, so, right, so my point is that if somebody's paying that, but 425 of that is a portion that somebody is profiting, right? That 425 represents taxes plus the person who owns the land's investment and profit. It's a lot of money over the long run.
Then I agree with you. But the only thing I would just add, my 2 cents on it is nothing's perfect. In this environment, we got to try everything we can to have different housing stock. It's a very good cautionary tale, but it's better than total rent, right? So, but I agree, and I think, on that note, I'll just, full disclosure, I'm a member of the City of Groton Planning and Zoning Commission. And there is some activity we're doing now that just encourage the public to participate. We're looking at some zoning changes to encourage housing. And there's going to be some information publicly available for people to look at those plans and make sure it conforms with what's available in the neighborhood and, you know, what the neighbors want to see. But now putting my hat back on as EDC chair, I'd love to see that all over the place. Let's figure out always, I think we all talked about this as our goal. Like, how do we promote opportunities for housing that, you know, isn't controversial in areas that work in town? So I agree with all the points on it. So.
I'd say in fairness to Dan did the calculation. It was based on like a 10-year
Okay.
loan, but in addition to that, the interest rates right now are almost 8%, 7.5%. So you probably got a 0 or 2% or something. Because in my mind, that math to figure out with a $250,000 house, that's with your taxes. 1,600 is amazing. So I think a lot of people would definitely jump into that one.
Yeah.
But I actually went in there a little pre-loaded with ideas of what I thought it was too. But after talking to the park owner and then getting to talk to a neighbor next door, talking about how they love it, it's wonderful. And it affordability wise, I just don't, we bought my daughter a trailer when she first moved out. Oh, it was funny. Dan's Mobile Park in, this was probably 10 years ago, but we paid $11,000 for it. And she lived there for 7 years and then sold it for $11,000. So, and was in the meantime, that was a $400 a month lot.
Right.
This is a young girl that, you know, I didn't want her, you know, she didn't want any roommates. She's more of a, you know, someone to live alone. It was just the most affordable option that we could have ever imagined. And for her to stay there by herself for that long of a period
Mhm.
and then be able to sell it for the exact same money that we paid for it was great. And I mean, that's why, and it was an old one because everyone's afraid. Aren't you worried about hurricanes? The thing was there from 1965. It's still there.
Yeah.
The person we sold it, I drove by the other day just to see. And they kept it up nice, but it's an old home. But it was just my experience.
Sometimes too, in your lot fee includes water.
It was in this house.
There are actually returns on that money that you do get, depending on the park. Everybody gets something. Most often it's water.
They were water and trash yesterday,
Yeah,
which I pay $400 a year for trash.
yeah.
So
There's someone between your ownership and there's someone that is profiting from your home ownership, which is
Yes.
always an extra cost.
you should look into 55 and older if you want to see somebody profiting from what you go into.
My point would be
Yeah.
to Bob's zoning is that if we're willing to have such high density housing, which we may need in order to support our working environment here, there shouldn't be an issue with dividing lots small enough that they can be affordable.
Yeah.
There's no reason for this third party to be scraping otherwise very poor people's
Right.
bottom dollar.
Right.
And that's my issue.
I think I have to politely disagree with you. They're
You
not
can rudely disagree if you like.
But I think there's a happy medium in both of it. This gets me back down to the POCD issue. That's our opportunity to inform the public about, because unless the POCD sort of leans towards subdivisions or allowing land to be cut in a certain way, the zoning commissions aren't going to change it. The people aren't going to understand why, or they're not going to accept it in their neighborhood. So it all gets down to like that part of outreach in this next year, bringing the public in and like really making them understand, if you want X, you need Y, right? And I think we all can work together and do a good job on that. George, anything for public communications or?
No, I'm just absorbing.
Okay.
All right, approval of minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstentions, so moved. Okay, old business, business outreach.
So, I handed out 35 cards over the summer. I talked to two pivot grant recipients, one of whom had a booth at the art show, the art fair. She's an accountant in town. Super pleased with the program. I'm trying to get in touch with her again to put some promotional stuff out so that we can get some of that pivot money spent before it goes away. And I'm glad you're here because the last time that you were here, we talked about potentially a Christmas in downtown and trying to coordinate with businesses down there. So I'd like to talk to you after about that if you. wouldn't mind.
I think I'll probably have to meet with you because I have a beautification meeting at 6:30, so I'm gonna be running out of here.
Yeah.
But we can definitely get together because that's very important.
Okay, great.
I have a question with what he's talking about. Is this the cards we've been waiting for so long to have to hand out? when we talk to people?
I actually just made those. So I'm not sure if they were promised earlier, but yes, they're
I have been waiting and waiting and
Great.
waiting for these.
wonderful. I was going to talk about that in my
Okay,
next item, but I can.
hang on.
Yeah.
Briefing's coming up
Yeah.
in the,
I just wanted to make sure that that's what it was for. Have you seen that? Did you look at it?
I haven't seen it.
It's
Is
in
that
your
in the
packet.
packet?
Yeah.
I can hand this around too. It's just an example of, it'll essentially. be like post-
I'm superseding what I should be asking.
Glad you're excited.
Excited about it.
So Jake,
regarding whatever you want to do this next coming month, if you want to pay for breakfast for Joe and I and us re-get on.
yeah, I'm happy to do that. Is there a day that works best for you?
As long as it's early.
Yeah.
You're an early guy anyway, right?
No, early enough. Yeah, whatever you need.
Yep. I mean, 7 o'clock works for me. I
Yeah,
normally go to
fine.
work for 7:30, but I can push
Yeah.
it anytime. That we could do.
Okay.
But yeah, so just let us know what you want, how you want us to re-engage and we'll kind of jump back on that outreach stuff. Like I said, the POCD stuff could be really helpful, but I know you've got a lot of ideas on it. We're ready to do that, so.
Where were the 35 businesses? Were they split between Mystic and Groton or just or?
So anytime I went to a networking event, so I went to probably 8 chamber events over the summer,
Okay,
and
yeah.
just out talking.
Yeah.
about it. So less door to door and more sort of traditional networking.
Awesome.
I keep both now.
Oh.
He got 2 cards today.
Do you pay for that?
What's
When
that?
you go for those events?
Yeah, I'm a member anyway. Yes. But thank you for looking out for my bottom line. Appreciate that.
Because we established a fund to pay for commission members to go for that. Both the chambers.
Wait for a dinner and go for the dinner.
Okay. Okay, we'll do. All right. Thank you. I will, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Robbie, could I interrupt for just a second? I
Mhm.
don't think you introduced our new member.
If not, welcome, sir. Would you like to have the floor, introduce yourself and?
Sure. My name is Bill Reese. I'm the new Conservation and Sustainability Manager for Groton Utilities. My job is basically currently to give money away for rebates and energy efficiencies and things like that. I am also been kind of pointed at to come out and start developing some additional incentives for, the build out of solar in our territory. We want to see more solar behind, basically along homes, take the demand off, improving energy efficiencies of commercial and residential structures within the Groton Utilities territory. So that's primarily my goal. I have a couple other, I'm working on a wastewater treatment feasibility study, looking at ways to maximize our assets where we can. I've only been here since December of last year, so I'm still getting my feet wet a little bit, but it's a small group, so they give you a lot of tasks to do a lot of different things all at the same time. So that's who I am, and I am now taking over for Aaron Brooks, who he probably did a pretty good job based on your comments, maybe a little too over ready and whatever. But yeah, so I'm hoping to help this group do what you guys do, and right now I don't even know what that is exactly.
We're still figuring it out.
On the solar part?
Right.
So on the solar part, because I've actually had, when I tell people that I have a solar company cancel on me and not show up, once they realize that we were Groton Utilities, they always call, but then I try to explain to them that we're municipal. Are you gonna do this to a third party, like the guy standing at Home Depot, or is it a program specifically that?
So I'm gonna be building a rebates program. So like how you would contact us for HVAC unit in your house.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a residential solar program. So basically, starting in January of next year, I better have it done by then. It's gonna be a scenario where people, first come, first serve, put in an application and say that are gonna, generate X amount of kilowatt hours. Here's my house demand. It's gotta be, basically taking the house demand off at the most. And we're gonna be giving incentives away for people to do that.
And who would do the install?
So you would find your own contractor to do that work. So that's the
Okay.
point he's making. So there are, and I personally cannot give you groups that do projects here because I don't look at their insurance. I don't look at how good they are. I'm not in their books to know if they're qualified to do your house or not.
Yeah.
But there are groups within our territory that are putting up solar.
So and you're saying the maximum, they'll go by your bills, what you've had in the past, and then
Yeah.
they don't want you
We
not
don't,
producing more.
we don't, yeah, we're not trying to set up somebody to be able to start getting a paycheck from the utility by generating 12-fold their house demand.
Okay.
So it is going to be tied to the demand of their house. There potentially could be some battery additions to that, but we're basically going to put a rebate out. You work with your contractor and say, hey, I want to put X amount of panels on my house. It's this big. This is my demand. You come to me, fill out an application, and we work through the process.
And that happens, starts in January.
Yeah, the rebate program starts in January.
I'll be able to do it with you.
But
Okay, that's all I'm asking.
right now, we're taking solar applications now. We're building solar now. I've probably been here since, like I said, December. We were finishing solar projects in December
Without rebates then?
without rebates, right?
So you're just assisting and telling people.
We
what
do the
they'll-
interconnection. We work with the contractor to do the interconnection. People do solar for one reason or another.
Yeah.
The problem with the economic problem of your return on investment for a solar array in Groton is that we don't charge enough for our electricity.
That's what I was gonna say. Part of my ignorance about the solar things, we're very lucky to have you. So the rates don't usually
Right.
make you
but you'll look-
immediately look
Yeah,
at.
our rates are low enough that most times people look at their ROI for installing solar and it's 30 years.
Yeah,
In Eversource's territory, it could be 10 years. It could be less than that.
Yeah.
I don't know how the new pricing schedule on their side is changing that, but it's only making it look better to do solar in their territory.
And has the rebate, the level of rebate been already determined, or is that what you're working on?
That's what I'm working on, right?
So, well, no, so if it was. a
I would like to
$3,000
see enough money. You gotta make it significant
Yeah.
enough for people to do it. But I would like to see 70 houses in this program. It's kind of a pilot program. We want to see how it's going. Now, part of my delay has been the state is coming out with a solar for all program. I don't know if you're aware of that. They have no clue what that looks like. So we've been in a bunch of meetings with them trying to say what's important, what's not important. As it's gone, the name of the program is called Sunbridge, but we're calling it Solar for All. Now it might just be solar for low income. And until they make their decision, it's really hard to dovetail anything we're doing with them, unless it's just a rebate, straight flat rebate, here's funds from our CL and M funds, coming back to the community.
how does it, and again, I'm so ignorant of it because we're blessed to have you guys here. How does the buyback work? Like if you generate more electricity than you
So
consume, does it
we
automatically?
We try to size the facility so it's really not.
But even outside the program, let's just say someone built the house and they're not here for the year and they're generating solar, does
We do have a net metering rider that basically will give value back.
Okay.
It's basically everything but the distribution value.
Got
So
it.
it's gonna be a wholesale rate, it's gonna be the transmission piece, it's gonna be some of the other demand charges, that type of thing.
Mhm.
But it's gonna be, and it's different for everybody, but I can
Right.
see that it's in the 11 cents, 12 cents range, something like that.
Right.
on Occasion. I am also looking at people's bills. People that have done it are saving maybe $40 a month on their
Mhm.
bills. It's not a lot.
Right.
And that's without a rebate or anything like that at this point.
Are you considering a commercial program?
Let me not a rebate program.
Can you consider a commercial program?
With the funds I have, probably not.
Well, welcome. We're glad to have you, and you have your permanent liaison brief section here, and
Wonderful. I'm glad somebody did it because I didn't do this. I did, and I don't know if this is the right time. I was told to
Sure.
pitch two things. Our brew run coming up on the 7th. If you guys like to run, it's a great time to do it.
Like the other part.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, we had a bunch of concerts this summer and they're over. So if you missed
Okay.
them.
All right. Right.
I made it to one.
There was something that I keep getting on my phone, which is within this federal infrastructure act, which is part of that rebate
Right.
program, is replacing
For a second.
the circuit breakers and stuff like that.
Oh, it's just,
Oh, it's not the people that, I'm sorry.
no, it doesn't have the list of people. I'm sorry, sir.
It mentioned something about replacing circuit breakers and
So we
Powers
have
and
a
whatnot.
multifamily rebate program that if you're changing out HVAC units or hot water heaters with super efficient heat pumps, water heaters, there is $1,000 value for upgrading the master meter to basically allow those units to work properly.
Ooh.
But it's under our commercial program, it's under multifamily, so it's not on the residential side.
Thank you. But by the way, I'm a GU commissioner as well.
Oh, okay, very nice to meet you.
Okay. Anything else for outreach?
Did you want me to jump into the flyer?
What's
now?
that?
Did you want me to jump into the flyer now?
Uh,
Or for staff reports?
Let me just get through the
Okay.
old business. Okay, so Parks and Rec, real quick briefing. We were gonna have an event. SIFT and Theramahan are available, but we postponed it because Paige leaving and some other logistics and to give us a better time to promote it. So we will circle back and do that. Also, you recall Clayton Potter from Parks and Rec came here, and I'd like to extend, if everybody's by consensus okay with that, an invitation for Clayton to have a liaison position here and join our meetings, work with Parks and Rec sort of on an ongoing basis. They do a lot of the same outreach and may help with what we're doing. So I'm gonna,
That's good.
yeah,
We don't need a motion for
We'll
that.
need their help for the Christmas.
just by consensus, as long as everybody's.
Chair, in the old days, since you're looking at creating a liaison, in the old days, which Leanne will remember, we also used to have the Mystic Chamber.
Yeah.
as a liaison.
I've spoken with Bruce and he knows, and I'll make sure to remind him that he's available to join us, as well as the Eastern Chamber, to send a representative to participate.
We give them a brass plate with
Yeah,
his
absolutely.
name on it. Then he owns it.
I have to remember that's there.
I think Bruce has been, I think Bruce is at least here once a year to give us an update too, but
So I'm just remembering what James does. He does a lot of hard work. He goes around and does all of these things. And in the old days, there was the Mystic Chamber, the Downtown Mystic Chamber, Downtown Mystic Merchants. Then we had the GBA, and everybody was aside of it. And I think it would probably augment what James is doing to have a permanent seat for the Mystic Chamber here, more so than the Eastern Chamber. I'm not disregarding Eastern, because we are a tourism district. And this body needs to have a regular update on how things are going, how things are progressing, not progressing, the parking study, the Water Street project, all of this are pursuant to the Mystic Chamber. And that was back 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And we brought them all together. And Joe, what's his name? Joe Velante, who was the chair of the Mystic, he had a permanent seat at this table. I would like to suggest that resume.
Maybe, could we add under liaison reports, each of the liaisons that we have
Sure.
that come, because, and we could go through it with Lauren. I think we have the Mystic Chamber that way it's top of mind,
Mhm.
right? On our agendas, for each.
I think it benefits the chamber too, that it has a voice at this table.
Yeah, and I'll make sure to send it to Bruce and let him know the size of all the meetings and things and keep them on the distribution list when we put the agenda out. So it's a good point. So they know they have that space,
If they don't show up, that's their.
It might be good. if
Sign them up and volunteer them for things. What's that?
Might be good to have both signatures on the letter.
It doesn't have to be Bruce either. Megan could come. I mean, he's got a staff now, so
Mhm.
just somebody to show up.
Yeah, just like William is here. Before you were here, I used to pester Aaron to be here all the time. So,
Probably why you sent me.
but you weren't here. We were not blessed to have you then. But Aaron is getting busier, so,
Right.
but I think this body needs to have a touch with all bodies that has retail, commercial relationship in this town and city. That
Makes
was the
sense.
objective.
And I think when we add it here too, we can either if Bruce wants to submit a report, I can read it, or they can send somebody, but the liaison representatives and know that that's available.
The idea is to have a dialogue. It's not just to read the report. It's also to have a conversation in a friendly, collegial way, to have a conversation. It's like what GU and all the others.
Yeah, I find that, talking with Megan, it's a sharing of ideas. And she's a sustainability person on the town side. And I get a lot of good ideas from her. And then we kind of collaborate on different things. So, yeah, it would be good.
Okay, the water tank, water street truck loading zone, town council referral. I think we got some updates on that. Did anybody have any input on that? Should we?
Every time I walk down there, I took pictures. It's not one truck, it's 4 trucks,
Yeah.
every single time. I sent some to Lauren to sort of like, it's a great idea. Except that it's not gonna really solve the problem.
Right.
So I don't know the guy, I don't know the Milestone people or Friar Tuck's or Margaritas. Those are some business owners. If anybody does know them, I'd really like to get their input on, but I wasn't able to get in touch with somebody who was a decision maker there. Usually, because when I went, and by the time I remembered, I had been there for a little bit, so.
Right.
I know what you mean. Yeah. So, if anybody's got any connections there, that would be helpful to get some more input, because Pearl has now made it worse, because it used to be that just on the one side. But today, as I was driving to the downtown, Pearl had their delivery truck rather than in their parking lot out on the right side of the street. And that really caused a lot of chaos. So I don't know that it's worth the money, because I don't think it's going to solve the problem, but I would like to find out from those business owners what would solve the problem, because I don't think it's this.
Again?
If I might, if you were to do this, you're gonna lose parking places.
Mhm.
And parking places are critical. And the truck drivers aren't gonna go in there. They pull up, run in, run out with whatever they gotta unload.
I'm not saying I'm running, but
Well-
parking spaces are cop parking spaces. police officers vacancy
Mhm.
right now.
Well, no, there's more than the police officers in that area.
There's two police spots and 2 other spots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 4 spots
Mhm.
that you wouldn't have, you know. But that's my feeling. I will ask the RTM, but it'll go, have been gone through by then. But I think any situation where you're gonna lose, even if it's 2 public parking places, you don't want to do it. Because as, say, nobody's gonna use that space. Maybe occasionally 1 truck will be in and then there'll be 3 around them. So you're not gonna, I don't think make it any better with doing this.
And they don't stay long anyway, right?
No, no. Oh, maybe you don't run,
Yeah.
but they do get in and out because they gotta make those deliveries and get them all done in the course of a day.
I forget how the referral was worded, but basically, the consensus is to not do anything.
Yeah, well, they took all the money away.
Yeah.
That's how the referral. were. It
Okay.
Went down to $0 and what should we do from the business community?
We went down to $0.
There was a grant, they were, in the budget, it was $50,000, now it's 0. And they asked us, you know, is this a good, basically, can you get some input from the business owners? And I just have not had getting to the city makers.
And I'd like to have an idea, probably by the next meeting at least, because CIP is coming around again and would be a whole nother budget process. So whether it's in or it's out, basically.
And so to me, though, the business owners, usually if no one's asking for it, like, well, they had the bridge that connects Groton and that for years and years. We just never had anyone come in front of us at the council and say they needed it, other than the fire department said they wanted it, but no citizens. If none of the business owners in that area are like calling the council and asking for it, I'd almost, either they don't know about it at all, which it should,
Right.
some point. I'm not quite sure that they think it would work either.
Right.
Usually the business would be in here saying, hey, I
Yeah.
think this thing would work. And
Right.
I don't know enough about it, actually. But I'm just saying, usually the guy from the fire truck would be looking for us. If they, because they know better than anyone. To me, it's more of a timing issue, but when trucks deliver it could be an accident on 95 and
Yeah.
get there right and smack dab in the middle of lunch, and it is what it is. And
The first thing Jake said about it, when they mentioned it, and Leon said it again too, it's like they pull up, they're there, they jump out, they unload. I don't even know if they'll use it. I mean, they should use it if it was there, but it's probably likely gonna cannibalize parking spaces and not really change the problem, right? Or solve it. That would be my take on it as well, but.
Should it be dual purposed, both police and delivery,
Well,
30 minutes delivery or 20
So-
minutes delivery?
what they were proposing is that it turned into parking spaces off hours. So essentially at 5 o'clock, it would become parking spaces.
But at lunchtime, you still need that spaces, so you're still losing 2 spaces.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what I'm saying is that cop space, can it be, I mean, if there's no cop there, unless something's happening, it's like an empty lot that is sitting there most times.
I think they have somebody down there regularly now.
Do they?
Yeah, they put a
Yeah.
policeman in downtown Mystic.
Can they put them on a motorbike?
Hey,
Or a regular bike.
it'd be nice if he just walked around.
He's actually good. He's pretty good. He's a community support officer. He's kept people out of my driveway before, so I like him. But
Conflict of interest. All right,
there is a little office. there.
Yeah.
okay, anyway, it's just an idea that I was throwing. I mean, there are 2 parking lots with the police. If that is used, during certain working hours for delivery drivers to just park 10, 15 minutes, dump the stuff, get out of there, as long as they're not there for longer than that, then the cops are saying, hey, you've been here for 30 minutes. Maybe there's something.
An opinion, because I don't even know enough about it, really.
Well,
I'd have to go down there.
So-
You, it sounds like you know more about it than
I-
anybody else.
Every time I walk down the truck, there's at least 1 truck, sometimes 2 in the way.
Yeah,
But I'm going in the middle of the day. I walked out of the post office at like 10 o'clock. So
Yeah.
there's 4 trucks out, so it's,
So
you gotta do business though. So it's hard to.
Oh, no.
I just basically we could just tell the council, we don't, we don't have a opinion either way about the project. We don't have enough information and,
No, I don't think that's so. We have information.
and enough information to advise for the project to move forward or yeah, I guess let's word it correctly.
So we're.
I can't vote. Take a vote. I'll try to keep my
Well,
hands down.
You also have 1 more months to reach out if it is a priority to get.
Oh, we have time?
Owners,
Okay, so
um,
let's table this for next meeting. Everybody think about it a little more and then we'll have a motion next meeting and forward some recommendation.
So there are 4 of us, there are 4 restaurants there, Pearl, Margaritas, Milestone, and Fire Trucks that are the biggest vendors.
Okay,
One,
okay.
each of you.
I'll take Fire Tucks.
I'll take Margaritas.
May I suggest for the next meeting, we invite those 3 owners to come and talk to us. And then we have a vote after that.
I think making them come here is extra on them as well. I think if we could try to at least go to them, that'd be helpful. Instead
We
of
can offer, when we reach out, everybody offer, like, you're welcome to
Yeah.
come. Our next meeting is here. If you have any particular opinion on this, this is what's being proposed. And then if we all do that, like, I think that,
It is good to have their opinion on record, not when we go and see them. It's our record that is not good. I like it to be on TV.
I hear what you're saying.
So I'm going
We
to
can
Pearl.
ask. Yeah, we're going to Pearl. All right, great. So,
And then
Haven't been
Milestone, I
yet.
think
Uh-huh.
we still need someone from Milestone.
Are you willing to take Milestone? Okay. I'll do too. Fine.
okay.
Should I twist your arm?
Yeah.
Make sure it's happy hour.
We could have an outreach meeting at
Yeah.
that one.
That might solve the problem. for
Yeah.
Milestone. All right.
Here we go. Okay, any other new business? All right, let's jump into staff report.
Excellent. So I'll only touch on the things that have really moved since our last meeting, and I'll start with one of the newer things. We're relaunching the Small Business Pivot Grant, as Jake mentioned. So I can pass this around. One of the things that we're doing is this little handout. It's like postcard size. It'll have information to get folks interested, where they need to go for the website, QR code, all that good stuff. And on the back side, it's an introduction to yourself as an EDC member. You can fill in your email, and it basically also gives an opportunity to learn about EDC. Do they want, we have several openings as well. Do they want to be involved? What needs do they have to just kind of continually have that conversation of you're just a resource ongoing. So it's twofold. Hey, we have an exciting grant program, and then also introducing yourself or continuing to have that conversation. You can pass that around. We're going to print those and have them for you. And then just some background too on the program. The grants are for up to $5,000 for eligible use at certain expenses. It's all in our handy dandy summary and guidelines that we have, and that will be online. We're revamping the website as well. Made everything a lot easier, a lot more clear. And then we're trying to get folks to apply by the end of the year. It's ongoing. We have until 2026 to actually expend all the funds, but we'd like to get people interested sooner than later. So it's rolling application, but we're encouraging folks that they'll, their application will be preferred if it's by the end of the year. And then you'll be able to see all this online as well. We can provide some of those speaking points for you, but it's pretty straightforward. Really free money for a great cause, and a very simple, straightforward application process. As long as they meet the requirements, they'll be approved essentially. Any questions on that?
So that printout lasts for 2 years.
Yeah, actually,
It's
Yeah.
typically for about 18 months. Would it behoove you to make that available? So I noticed new companies joining and registering, that they could be distributed when they register themselves.
just, you mean as they start? Absolutely. Yeah, and I think we're gonna have one that doesn't have the EDC member introduction on the back, so that we can have them at our different events as well. So that one's specific for you guys, but we can do that. And we'll have them at our community conversation events as well that we're hosting over the next.
Some to the chamber too.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. And then let's see, let me jump over to our report that Paige wrote. Also an update on our community challenge grant. So that's $6.4 million state grant that we applied for and received. We're just wrapping that up. Closing with the state on that has been been a lot of steps. And we're pretty much at closing. And then once that money is approved, we'll be working with our teams to implement the project. It isn't reimbursement basis. It's also a match. So as a town, we have a lot of funds in the project, but the grant really makes it possible and gets us across the finish line. So we'll be working on that, which is super exciting. There's a lot of pieces to it. We have a pedestrian bridge. We also have some affordable housing in partnership with Groton Housing Authority. It's a very complex project, a lot of pieces, but we're excited that we're close to closing on those funds. As you know, we have a lot of excess properties that have been sitting for a while. And one of my tasks when I got here was revamping our RFP process and working with our town council on the process policy that they adopted and getting that moving. So our Groton Heights and Pleasant Valley are going to council Tuesday for their last review before they're potentially posted for the development community. The process the town has put forth takes about a year to make a selection for a concept developer. So those will start, and then we'll be working on that over the next couple of years.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Sure,
It's gonna take how long for the process?
about a year.
For somebody to come in and put a bid in?
No, for, well, the bid itself is only posted for 60 days. Someone has 60 days to respond.
Yeah.
But the town's process to actually select who wins and what the concept is plus those 60 days, a year.
I know where you're going with this, and I totally agree, Leanne, that it's an outrageous amount of time for the selection process, but I don't know that we here at the EDC bringing that up again. I don't know if we're gonna make that change, but go on the record that we've sort of let the town council know beforehand.
Could we get a breakdown of what they feel has to be done during this period of time?
Yeah, one of the things that we've recently created is actually a graphic laying all of the steps out. So I can definitely get that to you. And we're going to launch that online as well. So everyone can see that, developers, residents, whoever the stakeholder is. Yeah, essentially, I call them Candyland boards. So you can be like, you are here, you're on this step. And part of the thinking behind that was so that we could lay that out, see where we are as we move through each property. So, and then of course, maybe watch on Tuesday night and see how our approvals go, but I can get that material to you. And also once it's on our website.
Being the next council meeting?
Yes, yeah, next Tuesday. That will be hopefully our final approval for Pleasant Valley and Groton Heights to move ahead.
To put it out?
Correct.
If anybody from the EDC wants to go there and give a take on it, feel free.
Well, sorry, I was gonna say, and one thing, I think as we move through these, I think we'll be providing feedback on maybe what could be more efficient or not. So we could definitely at certain points check in and get your feedback as well. I don't know if Tuesday would be the right timing for that, but
Wait, turn on your TV and watch it. And so everybody should be able to participate at least in watching what's going on, because I'm just a lazy one, but that's ridiculous. How many investors are gonna want to wait that amount of time?
What is it? You're basically, you give 60 days to the RFP and you're giving yourself time to vet it. Would it, is the year just something like legally set up to give you guys time in case, so you're not in contract to fall, but it's not gonna take a year, right?
I think the issue is it has taken, the problem, so the background on this, the frustration is these schools have sat out for it. We had a moratorium basically for a year before they could market it. And then it took a year to write the RFPs. And in the meantime,
the new process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to get the process to the point where the council could approve it. In the meantime, if you go into Groton Heights School, it's a wreck. I mean, the pictures are awful. And I don't think the public knows. I think some of the counselors have started to take some action. They're horrified as well. It's not any one individual, the process is terrible. And the process is, I think we can all agree, is been, to get the RFP out on the street has been not conducive to the taxpayers' sort of benefit. So to Leanne's point, we probably, I don't know, pass on to the council. We're happy to relook at that. But I think especially if they don't get the RFP out in this next month or so, maybe we have a motion to add some more input to it. But I think hopefully we're past that and these things are now gonna
Yeah,
get
I
out.
think we're there. I think we're
right?
there.
But
yeah.
you just said one other thing is important. This is not about limiting public input once it's out in the selection process. This is just about getting the RFP out for a developer or any potential investors to look at it. And that's where we've really fallen down, I think, for a number of reasons. And we as a body, I think, could have some input on making that.
Yeah.
Are
And
those
two-
typical, just timeline wise in my head? If I went to any other town in, say, Connecticut, is that a typical response time? Is it?
Well,
'Cause I mean,
I think-
we're focusing on driving, that's something
Yeah.
that's, and I would say that does seem like a very long time.
And to clarify, maybe there's some confusion. I'm not saying that it'll be a year till it's posted. We're at the final approval step and it should be posted and it will be out for 60 days.
Yeah.
I am saying that overall, the town process, at least the section that involves.
Vacation committee, this is starting,
Yeah, keep going.
everything is dark, nobody's there.
You're probably the first one there.
Yeah.
25 after.
5 minutes, they'll be there.
They'll be there. There they go.
So then once the RFP closes, it's roughly could be up to a year until the concept and developer are selected. And right now, each again, on that visual, you'll see it's kind of broken down essentially into each phase as the town set up the policy. So this would just be the developer selection stage, and then we move into negotiations, purchase and sale, and then they can begin
To
construction.
answer your question, Joe, I can tell you, Paige has told me people were looking for an RFP and he's like, I don't have anything to give you yet.
Yeah.
For a year, right? So that's the problem, right? There were people that are interested in that. And the issue is how do we maybe be of service to the council and the town and if they want more input on streamlining the process to getting the RFP together to get out
And
quicker.
The great thing is, part of the format that we just did, a lot of my experiences in issuing RFPs. And so we reformatted everything, have a template so that hopefully other properties can move faster as well. So
Right.
I think the policy, the new policy overall and the length that it takes is, it is lengthy. And I think it's two pieces. Once you actually have the RFP drafted and then once it's out, the length of that. And we're working on that with the town council and they'll be able to see how these two move through. And then I think we'll be able to provide feedback on if that took too long, what we could do differently. I think Groton Heights and Pleasant Valley will be the test for this new policy.
And it's hard when a public owns land too. I think what people don't understand it. If I owned it, I'll sell it and put a for sale sign. I don't care if you're putting an oil pump station or
Yeah.
whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
There's a lot more involved when the public's selling it, but you can see all the
Yeah.
SB Butler green signs all the way from here, all the way to the school.
Yeah.
So there's public input that has to be brought in and I kind of get, I didn't realize how slow government was. It's slow for a reason sometimes and it's good.
Yeah.
I remember, I have the skill. I can watch paint dry now in a room and be happy. Have that ability now after all these long meetings.
So that's really it. Everything else is essentially where it was last time we met. And we are very excited with those two properties because we think we'll be able to post them in the next month or so. And get those going. So really, really exciting, especially for.
1 year.
In the 3 minutes that you have, did you want to say anything before you head it out? Sorry.
No, please. Yeah, absolutely.
The RTM hasn't met for 2 months, so we really haven't got much to share from the RTM. But we'll be beginning now to look at some of the grants that are coming in. Groton's been very successful with their grants applications. And there's quite a bit of money coming in over and above that 64, I think. The police department's got some, Rec's got some, so it's really good that they're taking advantage of that. And we'll be reviewing those. The only other thing I'll tell you, the Rotary is selling the game, and it's all Groton businesses.
Hmm.
And it's a fundraiser for tuitions for kids going on to college. $25 a game, and it all goes back to the community. Nothing stays with the Rotary, nothing.
Awesome. It's
So-
fantastic.
We've already.
It's a good idea.
We've paid for the processing out of our own funds. And so now this is definitely for the kids in the town.
Awesome. Thank you.
So $25. Anybody wants any, I'll be happy to bring 3, 4, 6, whatever. But-
I would
and-
be interested.
Okay, I'll get you one, George, and stop down.
Just one, George?
Take that one, George.
George,
Make great gifts.
That is a strategy.
Yeah, take
Uh,
that. I'll come get the money.
She'll bill you.
I think I need another one more, I think.
Okay, well, I will bring you two. I'll take this one back to show. the
Yeah,
register.
yeah, let them see it.
Is it your prop?
Yeah.
I was ready, I could cash in hand too.
There's cash in there.
I'll use it.
I have
today,
some-
I'll Bring it back into you.
Is any Groton City,
What's that?
is any Groton City property on that thing?
All of them. You got Benito's on there. You have utilities are on there.
Yeah, Boris's house is the Mayfair Lane house.
There's a guy that knows a guy for some reason. I don't know who that is.
Oh.
I've been around. There's even a surprise on the $1 bills.
Yeah,
Thank you. Are you selling them over at the city hall for us?
No, I did see them.
No hurry, just around Thanksgiving, I
Yeah.
can send it out.
I'll get them down to you. And anybody else? Joe, you want one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a call first.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
You just got undersold though, because he's selling them on the back of his truck.
yeah, I got, I got.
495.
I have some in my car. Hopefully, I'll not be outdone.
You're Rotary, you're serious.
Rotary's in
Fair to all concerned.
again, if you had Boris's address, Ego would have bought 10 or 20 of them.
Oh,
They're all in my office. They're the, I got,
400 boxes.
Your father bought all?
By any time.
Oh, wow.
technology, we have a space, so.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Like, who gave all the content for that?
Yeah,
Like,
I gotta get.
Corinne, there was this
If I
bridge
had bought it.
yeah.
in Mumford or
What's that?
there's this bridge that was collapsing. Was it in Grand Long Point or Mumford or wherever?
Yeah.
Don't pull this.
Island, I think. Remember there was this bridge issue we were having?
Well, we're having to put up a new bridge going into Groton Long Point.
Is that? I kind of, was that from 2 years ago? I was asking for money to be put on that.
There's a committee that's working on it. I'm not being on the council, I'm not as much on top of it as something else.
It's Groton Long Point Bridge
Yeah,
that was crumbling or something.
yeah. But fortunately, I'm not absolutely sure. She might be able to find out for you, but somehow I think because the train is involved,
Mhm.
we're gonna get some money from the train.
Okay.
So I really can't.
Because I was thinking of the Community Development Fund paying for that too.
the bridge, I'm not familiar with the bridge project.
The Groton Long Point Bridge has to be replaced. And it's,
Weather and
yeah, it's
flooding and-
it's just deteriorated.
Yeah.
It needs to be done, but it's unfortunately, like any new bridge, it's gotta go up, it's gotta be wider. We gotta buy land. There's a lot involved in it. So, if you, I'm not quite, go ask Deb Green about it. She knows everything that's going on.
and there's still more money in the pot at the state on.
Okay,
community
who was I
development.
bringing a box back for?
I think I've got peer pressure.
What's that?
I'll take one.
Okay. Anybody else want one while I'm going to my car? Going now? Going twice? No, 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 no. No, no, no. That's all right. I can bring it to the next meeting.
I'll be more impressed with your sales skills if you sell him one.
Yeah.
Because he has them in his car.
Well, look, if you've got them, take care of them and then
Well,
we'll go
I'll
forward.
come and pick it up from you.
yeah, anytime.
I do my walk.
Joe, can I use yours for a few minutes?
100%.
I get pulled over.
Before us come over, okay? Thank
I'll,
you guys.
I'll be in
Thank
your
you.
dooryard tonight.
The city beautiful.
You want your coffee?
Your coffee, Leanne.
Oh,
You're-
I can't go without that.
You got alcohol in there, right? So you
Yeah,
should
right.
take it with you.
That's the secret.
How do you think I got this old?
There you go. You see, William?
Any other liaison?
No, I think I spilled the beans earlier on, so, The municipal building is now open. We were closed, the front steps were redone. That is now complete. So if you guys have a GU bill you want to pass, the door is wide open. That's about it.
Thank you very much. Any other business, anything else anyone wants to discuss?
One thing I will say is, the Groton Town Council actually, capped out what they would give Community Speaks Out at $100,000. They didn't know what they were gonna get for the marijuana funding. And we got the full 100,000. And I guess we could say unfortunately, that we said we buy a lot of marijuana in Groton. Just like the net bottle tax, we saw, we're like fourth highest in the state for how many, yeah,
Wow.
behind like New Haven and Bridgeport, and we're kind of up in the mix with how
Per-
much
Per capita or total?
total, money wise.
Wow.
But you gotta remember, we are very, we
Well, people coming in and out.
in and out buying
Yeah,
nips,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's 10 cent nip.
Yeah.
So we are looking for a building, and being on this committee, we just wanted to put it out there. You know, we're looking for something. My wife's dream now is the church. I don't know if you guys, that's up for sale across the way, but it's 1.6 million. It's a 13,000 square foot facility. It's just too big. We'd
Yeah.
love to have it, it's just too big, but we are kind of looking, and we wanted to thank the council for even setting us up with
Is
that.
that the one right up here, St. John's or
St. Andrews.
St. Andrews? Okay, yeah.
Presbyterian.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, 1960. We actually toured it and took a look at it. You know, but again, it's the money that came in from the marijuana fund. I think I, as a legislator, I voted against, you know, legalizing marijuana, but now you kind of see where some of that money is going to be able to go towards other things, because, you know, obviously people were smoking it anyway, but it's kind of alarming to see through taxes now, how much we actually consume. It's
Is there a sale place here in Groton?
There is, and the only way you can get dollars in the town, they kind of incentivize towns. Most towns off the rip said, we don't want it.
Right.
We don't want it on town. And they said, well, the only towns that are gonna get the advantage of it are the ones that have it in their town.
Right.
So if you have a dispensary, like Colchester opened up one, there are towns that still made a choice not to have it, but they're not gonna get any of the funds from it.
Right.
So, which I think, I guess is fair and unfair in a way, because you're still gonna have someone driving through your town to get to a town. You know, so there's still the safety issue and all the other things that go along with it.
Right.
But that's the way it worked, and Groton, was high on the list for, I think they got 153,000. And they just started taxing it, I think, in the right, January 1 or something like that. So in the same way the opiate fund got, because I didn't know how that worked either. They did give Community Speaks Out part of that. That was the opiate settlement fund, and that really had to go directly to groups like ours and kind of the work we're doing. The marijuana money, not so much, but they made that choice. They know what we're trying to do and build, but thank them. And if you guys have any ideas in your head spinning around with empty buildings, we're kind of we're more looking for like 5,000 square feet, and really trying to make.
What are you using it for?
Right now we rent on Thames Street, and we have group meetings that are, 4 or 5 nights a week. It's all good for that. We want to create a space where people can come out and, almost like a restaurant or bar type thing without the alcohol part, where people can actually, and we think that what we're seeing in other states, they're developing these, they call recovery bars, basically. They're finding out that young kids that don't want to drink are also using these bars.
Oh, cool.
So they come, they're playing pool, they're playing darts, they're doing all the things and having still the same social interaction minus the drinking.
Okay.
I drink, everyone knows that, but
Okay.
part of the group that and the folks that we work with, they're saying, God, why couldn't we have a place
Right.
that we go to? And it does make a lot of sense. If you could go in and karaoke was Friday night. Right now, we rent the Elks Club 3 or 4 times a year. We do karaoke nights, dance nights. We took advantage of the Groton Utilities concert and just gave food and had a big family picnic. But you guys paid for the band. We took credit for it that night with all of our folks. But we actually had the food, and we had people bring chairs. So we do a lot of things and interweave and ride the coattails of stuff that you guys may do. But we do the bowling. So if someone's in recovery, it's 80 people. It costs I think it's $2,000, but 80 people come down and bowl. They get pizza, coffee, and soda. So we're doing all those things. We'd like a space that we could just do 90% of that there. Obviously not the bowling, but do trivia even. just stuff that, what they call them, the normal people do. Like that,
Social aspect.
yeah, where they can go and have, like most people, our group, the people that we have can't go to a trivia and have one beer. That's just not something
Right,
they can do.
right.
So,
Is ownership a necessity?
it's not, but where we are now, we did, pretty extensive work.
Okay.
And we're at a point where we outgrow it, and lesson learned is, okay, do you wanna? Cause we could outgrow it, we may not, 5,000 may be the limit, so the dream is to make it so where, basically it's operational. My wife and I have been doing it for 10 years now with an unbelievable board, but we're thinking if we could make this thing kind of run itself and be self-sustaining, it's something that can just go on forever and ever and in perpetuity. And I think without property ownership, we talked about that earlier, if you own it, you own it. And you can kind of make your own rules on what you can do with the property, so. But if there was some opportunity that came up that we could do that too.
Sure.
Right, but. Keep in mind,
The Mystic YMCA, they have some space on the side that may be,
we're really looking bus route. A lot of people we serve, they do take the buses to our events, but that's what I'm talking about though, because just throwing stuff out there sometimes is.
The movie theater venues are too.
Oh, the movie theater, Benny's would be like a dream, but that, again, you're renting there and that's actually one of the places they're talking about redeveloping.
Yeah.
And then cost wise, we'd love to be in a shop like that, but we just with retail for what we're trying to do is probably not gonna be realistic, but it's gotta be you never know, we'll find it.
either around cinema.
A huge building, we would love that too.
Just take a small spot, keep it alive, and it's dead, at least used for a good, noble purpose,
Yeah.
for the interim.
You would laugh, you would not laugh, it's kind of sad, but we actually look to rent, what used to be the Planet Fitness all the way to the left-hand side.
Yeah.
And we were really excited, and the owners of the actual place said we weren't a really good fit, because what we do actually scares me, because we do bring people who are in recovery. And it was funny because my wife said it's the reason most of these folks are in recovery, especially after the lawsuit, CVS is in that complex, a package store. Like everything in there that drove or at least assisted,
What about that lighthouse place? Not the lighthouse, I mean, where they go for the recovery thing now.
Stonington Institute.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
building across, which used to be Pfizer's pre-K.
That's actually owned by Stonington. They use that every day. Hundreds of people in there.
Yeah, but on that side,
Yeah,
not this side.
yeah. No,
It's empty, I think. I don't see any cars every day.
in that building, they do that. It is full. The cars you don't see because people live there. That's inpatient care. So there's 150 people in that building, I think, at all times. So if you go there during the day and when you see all the folks standing out there, those are all folks that are going back and forth from the buildings.
I see, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay.
If there's ever anything this body can do for that effort, Joe, whatever.
No, you guys have always
need.
been great.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right, anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And have a good birthday next month.
Thank you very much. They're not as fun as they used to be. I mean, I'm grateful to have them because the
Yeah.
alternative's not great, but
Yeah.
when I was young, you're like, exciting.
My 40th, I didn't do. I